Ah, nature. Serene and beautiful. Until a natural disaster rocks the earth. Floods, earthquakes, wildfires, hurricanes. This is nature's fury. Unfortunately, nature can't control its temper any more than we can control nature. All we can do is deal with it. But how? That's the question we'll investigate in this workshop. How do we deal with natural disasters? You'll learn what science can teach us, but you'll also look at the human toll of a natural disaster. We can't control these deadly forces, but we can stay one step ahead of nature by finding better ways to predict nature's fury and be prepared for it. Hurricane Katrina in 2005 was a catastrophe for the Gulf Coast of the United States, and it showed what can happen when predictions are ignored. Catastrophe, an extremely terrible event. You'll read a science article explaining why the geography of New Orleans made it so vulnerable to flooding from the storm. A year before Katrina struck, government scientists and structural engineers had warned about weaknesses in the city's levee system. Levees are the man-made barriers that are supposed to protect New Orleans from floodwaters. So why did the federal, state, and local governments fail to act on the warnings? Could this destruction have been prevented? Katrina unleashed a staggering $150 billion worth of damage on the Gulf Coast. But the painful human toll of a natural disaster is much harder to measure. You'll read an excerpt from The Big Wave, a novel written by Pearl S. Buck in 1948. It deals with the devastating personal impact of a tsunami on two families in Japan. A tsunami is a series of giant, unstoppable waves that can form when underwater earthquakes or volcanoes erupt. In this book, the lives of two best friends are changed forever when a tsunami engulfs their small village. Can you imagine what it would be like to deal with such a sudden, catastrophic loss? How can science help us deal with these losses and avoid them? Well, you're about to meet one expert who uses meteorology, weather science, to study the behavior of hurricanes. Shirley Murillo works at the Hurricane Research Division of NOAA. As a high school student, Murillo spent 3 summers as an intern at NOAA. And today, she's a high-tech storm tracker using all the tools of her trade: radar, computer modeling, and GPS to help predict what hurricanes will do when they hit land. Check it out.
My name is Shirley Murillo. I am a research meteorologist with the Hurricane Research Division of the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration. Back in 1992, my family went through Hurricane Andrew. It was impressive to me that Mother Nature can cause so much damage, and I was so intrigued I decided to pursue a career in meteorology. So what's it like flying through a hurricane? It is something that not many people get to experience. We actually fly through the storm. It can get very, very bumpy, but what you end up seeing, it is almost like if you were standing in the center of a football stadium. You're being surrounded by a wall of clouds, and you see these roaring waves down below you and clear skies up above you. And ultimately, we're out there to collect data to improve our hurricane forecasts. On the aircraft, we have highly sophisticated instruments that measure the hurricane's wind speed, pressure. We have radars, we have radiometers on board. A good meteorologist not only has strong math and science skills, but what they also have are good communication skills. Not only do I talk to people and discuss science, but I also have to talk to the community, getting people involved so that they understand natural disasters are part of the global environment that we live in. So we just have to prepare for them.
Even with the most sophisticated scientific research and early warning systems in place, the best defense against natural disasters is preparation. Think about how you would prepare for a natural disaster. What would you take with you? Where would you go? At the end of this workshop, you can play the role of a city leader. A hurricane is approaching. Should you give the order to evacuate? Good luck. Here's what's coming. Super disasters that have rocked this century. Two guys who want to experience tornadoes from the inside. A graphic look at Earth's greatest hits, the biggest, the baddest, and the worst disasters. The horrors of a Central American hurricane, brought to life in a novel by Terry Truman. The heartbreaking aftermath of the big wave. And the not-so-funny subject of nature's fury in cartoons. There's a storm brewing in Workshop 3. Let's go.
Whoa, whoa!